Yes, sir. Welcome to the Let's Be Real NFL mock draft for 2021.
I'm excited. I hope y'all know what y'all doing today.
Man,
y'all see my name, man? GM Savage. I'm born for this.
That means nothing to me. That means nothing to me. I hope y'all know what y'all doing.
Well, I hope y'all don't. I hope so too. To be honest with you.
I hope y'all take this serious. I hope y'all don't try to joke around with people's teams, even though you may not like them. I just want y'all to be great, just like I want myself to be great.
You firing shots at me? Is that what you're trying to do? We could do it today.
So his name is I Will Not Troll for the day, and clearly he's already starting. We not even starting
already. That's just.
Oh, it's a reminder for y'all because I know how y'all are. I know my brothers.
I am my brother's keeper, so I guess so.
Oh man.
All right, Savage.
All right, gentlemen. So for those of you who are watching and for y'all, I gave everybody, all 6 of us, teams. So you guys know who you got. Sharky got his name as his team, so he don't forget. But we will go through we will go through each of the picks of the first round. So we're only doing one round. Hopefully we don't take 2 hours to do this. I doubt we will. But what we will do is we'll go through each of the picks. You guys know where you are. The first 2 picks we already know. You know, even though somebody named Mr. Riley over there is questioning the first pick, but we all know what it is. So we intentionally took off the first 2 picks because it's a foregone conclusion. But the other picks, you guys, we'll have a brief, very brief discussion as to who we think that this team will take with that pick, or who they should take with that pick. The person who has that pick will make the pick, explain why that they made the pick, and then we'll have a brief discussion after that, and then we'll keep the cycle going. Any questions, gentlemen?
No, my friend, I'm good.
I hope y'all know what y'all are doing.
I got Pittsburgh, man. I know what I'm doing. I got y'all. Okay, so really quick, because we ain't got to go too deep into this. The first pick in the 2021 LBR NFL mock draft, we already know Jacksonville Jaguars are taking Trevor Lawrence, but Sheedy, since you feel some type of way about that, go ahead and explain why Trevor Lawrence is going to be the first pick, even though you may or may not agree with it.
I believe. Thank you for giving me the floor, GM Savage. As part owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and as we're building a dynasty here, I do see why people will take Trevor Lawrence. We're not going to be winning this year. Of course, we're in a rebuilding year right now. However, I think Trevor Lawrence is key for our movement moving forward at quarterback position. I've looked at back at the drafts of the Jaguars, and all their talent players just leave. Jalen Ramsey gone. Their DN from last year, they traded to the Vikings. So I think Trevor Lawrence is the safest pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars to make. Is it the best pick for me? But I'll take Trevor Lawrence for now. I digress.
I forgot I'm muted. My bad. Number 2 pick is the New York Jets. Mr. Skylar Clayton has the New York Jets, and we already know who y'all taking. It's going to be Zach Wilson. So, Skylar, your thoughts about Zach Wilson and his impact for the New York Jets?
Zach Wilson is, to be completely honest with you, isn't my second best quarterback available in the draft. But I think what I've seen from his pro day, what I've seen from tape and film, that he has an arm on him. I think we all saw that throw that he had in his pro day. He was rolling left, throwing right. He was making throws down the field to several different receivers. So I think, as we've moved off of Sam Darnold, quarterback is a very important pick for us. So I'm hoping with my coaches and my staff that we making the right pick with Zach Wilson.
All right. And we can get right into the real meat of the podcast. So the third pick, San Francisco 49ers, Skylar also has his team, but really quick. Sharky, who do you think they should take right here and why?
It's pretty easy. Justin Fields, because he's the best available quarterback left on the board, and they obviously want a new starting quarterback.
Simple as that. So Mr. Clayton, go ahead and announce your pick.
With the third pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers are selecting Trey Lance.
Ooh.
Trey Lance.
And why is that?
Trey Lance, from what I've seen from the quarterbacks that are available, he I believe is a raw talent. I believe what we're going to do as the San Francisco 49ers, we're going to keep Jimmy Garoppolo for the time being, and then we will bring Trey Lance up underneath him, as Kansas City did with Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Smith. Yes. So that's what we're going to do. Trey Lance also has the most experience as a pocket passer from the upcoming players. And so if you know how San Francisco runs their offense, it's a lot of play action. It's a lot of, one back, two back sets, a lot of tight end sets as well, too. So we go over Trey Lance.
Trevor, thoughts on Trey Lance pick?
Honestly, that is actually not a bad pick for the 49ers. I honestly thought that they were going to go with Mac Jones. I was suspecting possibly Mac Jones to be taken off the board for some reason because it's the 49ers.
And Skyler, who's an Alabama fan.
But I feel that with Trey Lance, exactly what Skyler says, it gives the 49ers the opportunity for Lance to kind of grow a little bit under Garoppolo and kind of ease him in on slowly. Like, he's just 20 years old. He's not going to turn 21 until May. So for that time being, just to kind of allow him to get his feet wet and get used to the NFL style of game, I can see Trey Lance working with San Francisco there.
Okay. Go ahead, Scott.
I just don't believe that, San Francisco was – I forgot what pick they originally had in this draft, but essentially they're coming off 3 first-round picks to move up to number 3. And I just cannot fathom, them moving that high, them giving up as much as they did for Mac Jones, who potentially could have been there wherever they were originally in this draft. I just don't believe that. So I think they've put all these rumors, they put, these different reports out there to see what their fans say, because I believe at the end of the day, GMs listen to their fan base. They listen to a lot of the local talk radio shows. So I think they put that out there just to see what their fans will say. But I think it's either going to be Justin Fields or Trey Lance. But I think they're going to go Trey Lance.
Gotcha. All right, number 4 is Atlanta Falcons are on the clock. If I had to pick who Atlanta's going to take here, I'm going to say it got to be Kyle Pitts because they are currently shopping Julio Jones, and I don't know why. If you're getting Kyle Pitts with Julio Jones, I don't know what you're doing. But go ahead, Atlanta Falcons.
I mean, it's the most Atlanta thing to do, right? I mean, come on, man. I'm gonna just keep it short. With the 4 pick, the Atlanta Falcons. I'm gonna go with Kyle Pitts. Like you just said, they would need a big body, regardless of if they do trade Julio Jones. I think Kyle Pitts. I said it before earlier in a couple of episodes ago that Kyle Pitts may be the best non-quarterback in the draft this year, and I think Atlanta would use him. Well, I don't think Atlanta would use him right because they don't know how to use anybody right. But if you got Matt Ryan on a contract for 2 more years, that's the reason I didn't pick a quarterback right here, because who want to sit behind Matt Ryan for 2 years? So give Matt Ryan one more good chance by drafting one of the best tight ends in the draft, or the best tight end in the draft.
Oh yeah, easily the best tight end in the draft. Thoughts on that pick, Shady?
Yeah, I would actually think not even just best tight end, might even be one of the best offensive players actually in the draft, and quite possibly a transcendent talent, so to speak, as well for the tight end position. I think it's a solid pick. I again don't know why they're shopping Julio, but again, 28-3 in the second half of going to Super Bowl, along with a few other things that the Falcons have done. They're going Falcon, but a solid pick by the Falcons nonetheless. As a quarterback, I wouldn't want to sit behind Matt Ryan either, because I believe the Falcons have given too much rope for Matt Ryan, and he's hung himself year after year, but they keep going back to the wishing well with him. So great pick.
Cool. And now I am on the clock as the GM of the Cincinnati Bengals. Skyler, who should the Bengals pick right here?
Who should they pick? I personally would go with Penei Sewell. I believe he is my opinion, I think he's one of the better talents in this draft. And I honestly think, if quarterback wasn't such a, important piece, which is always going to be, but I think offensive tackle and the tape that I've seen for Penei Sewell, he's probably one of the better players in this draft. He's only falling this far just because everybody, which is understandably, needs a quarterback and wants a quarterback. So I believe they will go Penei Sewell. I think they should go Penei Sewell.
All right. With the 5th pick in the LBR NFL draft, mock draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Jamar Chase. And I only say that because I have insider Eagles intel as to why we traded out of 6 to go back to 12, because we couldn't get Jamar Chase and we couldn't get Kyle Pitts. And so I feel like the Bengals are going to want to put Jamar Chase with Joe Burrow. Personally, if I was really running the franchise, I'm looking at Joe Burrow in that little video they had with their uniforms, and I saw that little slash on his knee, and I'm like, oh, no, I need to protect my investment, my first overall pick from last year. But I think what they're going to do is get pretty and continue to be the Cincinnati Bengals and do what is opposed to winning, because the Bengals have not won a playoff game in a very long time. And also
I was just about to say no AJ Green as well.
No,
like you need a cornerstone receiver, and he'll be a great start.
Right.
So
yeah, and you can get other linemen, later on. But I just feel like what Skylar mentioned, Penei Sewell was the best tackle in the draft, man. I don't know why they passing on him, but got to do it. So, but yeah, I won't waste any time. Going ahead to the next pick, and that is, make my pick real quick. Miami Dolphins are on the clock. And let me get Trevor to say who should they take right there.
So the Miami Dolphins at this point are possibly looking for another potential weapon to go alongside Tua. The Jamar Chase one, I really thought he would have been available here at 6, because that's what the pick that I felt that Miami should have done. But I do think they do stay at receiver at least. Although it has come out and we know about his size and everything, but I still believe he's going to go high. I feel that Miami is going to take Devontae Smith here at 6. Just because it's either him or his teammate, Jalen Waddle, as well, to give Tua some kind of wide receiver weapon to pair alongside with him to go with that great defense that Miami also had as well.
Okay. Miami, go ahead.
Well, Trevor, with the number 6 pick in 2021, it'll be on my draft. The Miami Dolphins will select Devontae Smith from Alabama.
I was not ready for that. I was not ready for Trevor Holiday tapes.
Wow, that's what's up. That's what's up, though.
Yep. Yes, makes pretty much sense to me. Hey, Jamar Chase got taken. He won a national championship with who? Joe Burrow. Who did Devontae Smith win the national championship before this first year? With Tua, their freshman year, he threw the game-winning touchdown pass to him in overtime. You need to get Tua some weapons. Give him a player he's familiar with and a player that's just want to have some trophies. So,
I mean, that's the best receiving. Well, aside Chase, that's the next best receiver in the draft, because I mean, the man can run routes, and I literally saw him just go crazy in the national championship game. I hate that he didn't fall to the Eagles, but I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Speaking of trolling,
Raiders win the. Hey, ban this man. Hey, what the fuck call 911?
He must be talking about the MTSU Raiders or something, because I know he ain't talking about the Las Vegas Raiders.
Hey, they did have an underrated season though, and I will say this: hey, they nice. Like the same way I felt about the Bills, not last year, but the year before. I think the Raiders will be my Bills team for this year. Like they won't be going to the Super Bowl, but we will see a big improvement for them. But that's later down the line. We get into that.
Raiders
Super Bowl.
Quarterback.
That's a stretch there, my buddy.
Raiders need a quarterback. All right, Tevin, who should the Lions take now that they are on the clock? Or do you even have an idea who they should take?
I do know who they should take. They should draft the other great Alabama wide receiver, as Skylar probably know a lot about, Jaden Whittle.
Waddle.
Go ahead. Waddle, my bad. Waddle. Whittle. But go ahead, get some more playmakers, man. The Lions, they're consistently good on defense, so I wouldn't really have an issue with that. It's offense, like they fail to score points. So go ahead and get the next best person that can hopefully do that for you. So I'll go with him.
All right, go ahead, Detroit Lions.
All right. As we pretty much heard describing the Lions just briefly, they pretty much need everything on both sides of the ball. So you're probably going to look at the best possible player available in the draft. So with the 7th pick, the Detroit Lions will be taking Jalen Waddle, wide receiver from the University of Alabama. I believe from what I've been hearing from new GM Brad Holmes, who is a black guy, so shout out. He's going to at least give Jared Goff this season to kind of prove himself, because this is the first year of his new deal that he signed while he was still with the Rams. And at least with this season, it could at least give himself something to show to, prove that he's worth that. And the Lions need a weapon. They need a wide receiver one, because they lost both of their top receivers in free agency, with Marvin Jones going to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then of course Kenny Galladay signing that huge deal with the New York Giants. So I think the Lions go grab a weapon for Jared Goff here, and they take Jalen Waddle with the 7th pick.
Okay, thoughts on that pick, Sharky?
Makes sense. Like you said, they lost as soon as he made the pick. First thing I thought about was the top 2 receivers that they lost in free agency. And they have Jared Goff. You need somebody to throw the ball to, man. After losing Galladay and Marvin Jones, I don't know any weapons they have at all, for real. So, yeah.
All right. So to kind of recap at the bottom of the screen, you guys can see the little ticker at the bottom. The first pick was Trevor Lawrence. Second pick was Zach Wilson. Third pick was Trey Lance. Fourth pick was Kyle Pitts. Fifth pick was Jamar Chase. Sixth pick, Devontae Smith. Seventh pick, Jalen Waddle. So you had 3 receivers going in a row. So all the top receivers are gone now. So now we are at our first, let's be real, fandom team, the Carolina Panthers. So I'm gonna have 2 actually, based on who's available. Who do you want the Panthers to draft right here?
All right, so of course I had us picking Kyle Pitts, but of course he probably won't make it to the 8th pick, right? So plan B for my real Panthers will be for us to trade down and try to get other picks, but based on who's left, I say go ahead and get some protection for Sam Darnold. You still got Penei Sewell left and Rashawn Slater, so one of the linemen to do, man.
Nice. All right, Panthers, go ahead and make your pick.
With the 8th pick in the draft, the Carolina Panthers select. Give me I agree. We're gonna go get Sewell, man, because we got the Buccaneers in that division.
Don't do it. Karma coming back. Don't do
it. Are in that division. I mean, you're talking about some tough defensive lines that you're going to be going against. If you look at Sam Darnold, when he did well, is because he was protected. You still have C-Mac in the backfield. So you're giving them a certified offensive tackle in this first season, and they're ready to go.
Good looks. Skylar, do you have confidence in Sam Darnold to do well in Carolina?
Yes, because he has way more talent in Carolina than he ever did with the New York Jets. He's under a better coaching staff. He's got Joe Brady. He's got Matt Rule. That's already a better coaching staff with just those 2 alone better than he had at the Jets. He was, in my opinion, he was never dealt a fair hand with any weapons being put around him. So, yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to go right into the next one. Denver Broncos, go ahead and state your pick.
All right. So assuming that the Denver Broncos keep this pick, they'll go quarterback here, and he's not going to be sitting down too much longer. So if he's here at 9, the Denver Broncos take Justin Fields out of the Ohio State University.
Even with the trade of Teddy Bridgewater?
Yes, I still feel that even with the trade of Teddy Bridgewater, I think Bridgewater is kind of there just to kind of mitigate things to go wrong if something was to happen to Drew Lock. And I'm not even sure if the Broncos are still sold on Drew Lock as their QB1 right now at this day and time. So I think at this point, if you desperately need a quarterback that you can be certain on or somebody that you can work with for a little bit, Justin Fields is definitely going to be that guy.
And I can kind of agree with that before we move on. We did give up a 6th rounder. So we just pretty much gave away Teddy Bridgewater. So for what you just said, it can all definitely be true. I can definitely see them still getting a quarterback for sure.
Mm-hmm. And for a team that ain't hit on a quarterback in a long time, yeah, you can kind of see it.
All right. So next up, we got our second Let's Be Real fandom team with the Dallas Cowboys. So let's get our resident Cowboys fan, our resident Cowboys fan, to comment on who they should take right here.
At this pick, with how we've drafted so far in this mock draft, the Cowboys and Jerry Jones would be stupid and idiots, even though they are at times, to not get a corner at this point. So you, of course, got Patrick Surtain. The second there, there's been some talk about Jason Horn as well. But those are only 2 corners I see. I know we got to talk about the other guy, but honestly, those are 2 that I think are lottery picks at 10.
All right. Dallas Cowboys, make your selection.
I had a problem here, and I'll be real quick because I feel like y'all could definitely use a blocker. But y'all gave up the most points in franchise history.
Here we go.
So, I mean,
so
I guess, I'm smart, so I know what the hell y'all need. Y'all need somebody on defense. So give me Skyler's man, Patrick Surtain, man, from Alabama.
Okay.
Give me some. I know how to pick for y'all. I'm not gonna troll, but damn it, y'all might.